Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam Voyages. I am Satya Kalra, your host for the program and founder of Path to Anandam. And with Guruji's blessings and everybody's support, whatever you see on this page, it is all the message from Supreme Power. Bhagavad Gita and divinity, where we could share our information for self-transformation, self-purification, and self-realization. Today's contents, a journey of spiritual growth and reflection on Kumbh Mela. What is Kumbh and what is Maha Kumbh? What is the history or the story behind it? Where, when, and why Kumbh? And what is the spiritual significance? Especially the depth. Everybody has been crazy to go and get the depth. You can see all this, how many people are there. And you have seen that on YouTube as well. And how is the modern perspective of it? For example, physical and spiritual. And today I want to focus mainly on my experiences in Kumbh Mela. And actually this was my fourth Kumbh. So 3 were in Prayagraj and 1 was in Haridwar. And then practices, how Gita plays a role and what are the teachings of Bhagavad Gita apply here. And what is the action plan we should do, which is the inner dip. Take inner dip every day. But going back to what is Kumbh? The sacred picture of immortal drink, Amrit. You know, when I was just looking at it, all of a sudden it came to me that no matter at what age we are, or our loved ones are, or we know people, age doesn't matter. Everybody wants to live. Of course, healthy, happy, but nobody wants to die. Even in Bhagavad Gita, it says that we know that death is such a misery, such a wonderful, and misery wonderful. Even everybody knows that we all are going to die, but we don't remember. Even if we see it, we forget. So everybody wants to live longer and longer and longer. At the same time, and I would say everybody, I would say most of the time, because many people might disagree on that part, but most of the people want to live longer. And the Kumbh represents that. That the Kalash, the Amrit, everybody, whether it was the divinity or asuras or suras, whatever they were, they all wanted to live and they all were running after the Amrit Kalash. So what is the significance of this Kumbh? So this is a festival for spiritual purification through a holy dip in sacred rivers. It is also a symbol of purity, divinity, and divine energy and spiritual awakening. As we were talking about it, this is the biggest gathering of Hindu faith on the earth. You take many other highest crowded places like Makkah and go to Israel and all that. And there are lots of people in the whole year. But here, right now, there are about 40 days. Total Kumbh is for 45 days, which ends on 26th of this month. So about almost 40 days, 50 million people, 50 plus million people, because until yesterday, before yesterday, there were 50 million people, and then this weekend. So there must be now more than that, which is, I put it here, like a combined population of US and Europe. And actually, if you look at it, this is the largest peaceful gathering of humanity, because when you really go there and experience it and see people, how peacefully they, even though they have a stuff on their head and all that, walking and 10, 15, 20, 25 kilometers, and nobody is just enjoying and walking, and they have one goal, just reach to Sangam and get the day. And then there is a Maha Kumbh, which is called, this time it is the Maha Kumbh, which is held every 12 years at Prayagraj. So this is the opportunity for all of us to rejuvenate our mind. Of course, the physically also, because everyone learns to walk and become more tougher, but connect with the soul. And the story, we all know that this is the fight between devils and divinity, evils and divinity, positivity and negativity, where devas and demons both fought for 12 days for this Amrit, for this Kalash, which came by turning the ocean. But both devils and demons and devas, and they were running after this Kalash, and finally it got into the devil's hands, and then Lord Vishnu come in the Mohini Roop, and he grabbed that back from them. And during this लड़ाई झगड़े में और खींचातानी में, these few drops spilled, and those spilled drops, which is called that was the mystic power, which dropped at the places of Haridwar, Prayagraj, Nasik, and Ujjain. And that's where and this is basically the whole story about it, but this is how this Kumbh has grown. You can see that is a small gathering from 16th century, and now 500 plus people. And it's not just in India. It becomes now the international event. But even though the volume has changed, but the message, the essence of Kumbh have not changed. They still remain the same. The ritual for self-discovery and self-awareness and knowing the purpose of, fulfilling the purpose of our life, to experience Satchit Ananda. So again, those 4 places where the Sangam is Ganga, Jamuna, and Saraswati. These are the Prayagraj, Haridwar, Nasik, and Ujjain, where the 3 rivers meet. Saraswati is invisible, where Ganga, Jamuna. And actually, every 6 years, it is an Ardh Kumbh. And actually, this was all established by Adi Shankaracharya previously as well, that Ardh Kumbh, which comes every 6 years. And that's where I mentioned I attended those 3 in Prayagraj. One was in 2018-19, and one was in 2012-13. So, and then it comes the every 12 year, which is also this year is called the full complete Kumbh Mela. And actually, these come every 3 years. One time it goes to, so now after 3 years, now there will be a Ujjain and then Nasik and all that. So they're just based on the lunar and the stars locations. the location of the Kumbh depends on all the locations of the stars. And it is believed that the water turns into Amrit. Even though there is in the Sagar and Sangam, the water is there and all that. But in those particular shais nowadays, it is turns into Amrit. And how it turns into an Amrit? It was very interesting for me to know, because I didn't relate to it. What happens that there are 13 akhadas? And this is actually initially Shankaracharya, let me take you back to that. Yeah, Shankaracharya, he established 10 akhadas. And now there are 13, but those 10, out of those 10 akhadas, one is somewhat like a Juna akhada, which is considered to be the highest one, which is the Naga sadhus. And I learned so much on this tip about Naga sadhus. Naga sadhus are the one, they come like about 5 or 6 lakhs sadhus over there. Where do they come from? Where they go? It's a mystery. But they do so much spiritual practices. They totally live into not just the detachment of the body, but they live in from the world, and they're totally selfless people. And when the Ishnan comes, those are the people who are allowed to go and take the Ishnan first, because they have the vibrations in the body which, with their dip, even the water of the Sangam becomes more pure. And that's why they're allowed to take the bath first. And I also learned, because I thought the Aghoris and the Naga sadhus were the same, but actually they are different. Naga sadhus are the one which they do only the positive, they are only on the positive energy. Where the Aghori people, saints, they are different, and they live in a very different places. Like some of them even live into the cemeteries and etc. So their practices are very different. But Naga sadhus are the one, they have only this rock or on their body, ashes. And what they do every 12 years, for 12 years, they meditate on one Jyotirling. They're all the rupa of form of Shivas. That's what they consider to be these sadhus are, Naga sadhus are the manifestation of Shivji's energy. So for 12 years, for one Kumbh, they meditate on one Jyotirling. Then they move to another Jyotirling. So for 12 Jyotirlings, it takes them 144 years. And that's where, when they complete the cycle, it becomes the Maha Kumbh. And Maha Kumbh is always in Prayagraj. But what is the purpose of Kumbh? Again, this is the spiritual part of it. The ritual part is you go and take a dip, but the actual meaning is to uplift ourselves, because self-awakening, the process of becoming more aware of your true self, your inner potential and your life purpose. In other words, experience, I am Satchit Ananda, Aham Brahmasmi, oneness. God and I are not different, and so are everybody. So these are the key elements. Living in self-awareness, inner peace, and then get the spiritual growth. We lift ourselves little by little and go to the different conscious level until we reach to the highest level of the supreme conscious level. And we have a purpose to live, not just we are living here. We have a particular purpose, that this is the purpose of my life, and we do every activity tailored toward that. So the Sangam, everybody is wanted to go to Triveni Sangam. So the true meaning of Sangam is, physically we hear it, it is Ganga, Jamuna and Saraswati, the invisible Saraswati. So the Sangam is of three rivers, these holy rivers. And actually I put it here, if you look at it, there is a one dark color and one is blue color. This dark color, which is Jamuna, which starts from Mathura, Vrindavan, and it ends here, right here in Prayagraj, where Ganga comes from Gangotri, and then it merges here, and then it carries on until it goes to the Gayaji's area, the ocean. But you can see the two different colors so clearly that this is a Jamunaji's color and that this more like a blue color is, or here you can see it's more white color is the Jamunaji and more dark color is. And it is also relates to, because it comes from Vrindavan, Mathura area, Jamunaji, so it is considered to be Sham color of Krishna Bhagwanji. And here, this is close to Ayodhya, and it color is the color of Ram Bhagwanji. And then, of course, the Saraswati Ma is invisible, you cannot see it. But actually, it is not just the Ganga, Jamuna, and Saraswati Sangam. It is a Sangam of Jeev, Jagat, and Jagdish, where we can see the Jeev and we can see the Jagat, but we cannot see the Jagdish, but we can experience it. Same is Jeev Atma. We can experience the Jeev, we can tangibly, we can see it, touch it. Jeev Atma, Insan ko. Mahatmas, we can get the blessing, we see them. But Paramatma, we cannot, we just feel it. And here, our left mind, right mind, Ida, Pingla, and then the Sushumna, which is in the middle. And of course, same concept goes here. Body, we can touch it, feel it. Mind, we know it is there. Brain, mind, it is, though mind we cannot, all the thoughts come from our mind, but that's where the soul is. We always talk about it. My mind is not, my mood is this way, my mind is not working, etc. But we never say that my soul is not working, because it's a settle. So ultimately, it comes to how to then experience it. Because the Kumbh Mela is a path to enlightenment, self-awakening, then how to experience it, how to practice it. And that's where Bhagavad Gita comes. Bhagavad Gita says, do your seva, karma yoga, neki kar kuएं में डाल, सर्व भूत इत्यरता, bhakti yoga, love all, serve all. And then by doing that, our heart is filled with love and compassion. And all the resentment, gile, shikwe, they all dissolve. And all of a sudden the light bulb comes that we are all one. That wisdom of oneness, Aham Brahmasmi, and so is everyone else, that comes. And indeed, and actually, if you look at today's time, the Sangam is a culture, because there is a lot of culture over there, all different akhadas, all different states. They come and they present their own culture over there. And there is a nature, you can see the water, you can see the trees, you can, and mountains and hills over there. And until now, I was just looking at the culture and nature, but now looking at this kind of excitement and commitment toward the Sanatan Dharma. So this is not just the culture and nature, but it is also the future. So the spiritual perspective of Kumbh is Sato Ma Satgamya, which we use it all the time in our meditation. Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya. Mrityurmam amritam gamya. So the untruth leads to truth, from darkness to a light, and from death to immortality. So this story is basically symbolic of our mind, which we need to go deeper and deeper to experience it, and not to be slave of our mind, but direct our mind toward the immortality, toward the liberation, and attain moksha, the cycle of life and birth. So in real sense, Triveni Sangam is union of humanity, families, communities, oneness, Vasudevsu Kutumbakam. So what are the main activities over there? We are very familiar with these traditional activities, which kind of we practice it not just in the Kumbh, but we practice it, but in there we actually see, and again I put it here, Naga sadhus, the akharas during Shahistan, you can see them. They are allowed to go first. They go, all these akharas go in processions. And also there are some ceremonies, like people are given, like to me, I attended some of the ceremonies of the, how they crown the some of the saints, Mandeshwar. And then Maha Mandeshwar. These are like, I wouldn't say the degrees, because degrees is more like a worldly thing, but basically, ye paddhati hai unki. So they get these upadhis over there. And then there is a lot of kirtan, kathas, bandaras, and deep danam, and charity, and donations. And also there are a lot of sadhus and saints, sammelans where they discuss the social issues, and also their religious issues. And for example, Ram Mandir used to be the one, now they do the Krishna Mandir, Mathuras, and all these things. So they spend a lot of time discussing these things. And of course, these are the, all the ashrams do not practice, but in our Paramartha ashram, yoga, meditation, these are very common. Always they're always there. Almost all the camps had the medical services and the cultural activities, and of course, a lot of patriotism. This time it was so much patriotism. You can see that every ashram was talking about the nation, Bharat Mata ki jai, you know. And they also discuss some of the international issues as well. So so Kumbh is the place where a spiritual union of people of India and worldwide, they come and they express their views. And here I wanted to I brought some of the pictures, but I just wanted to share this one. This is a physical experience, journey, enduring hardship, participating in rituals and getting blessings. So let's talk about here enduring hardship. Here you can see I am sitting right on the bike. I have never used on anybody's bike after coming from USA 55 years ago, because I was so scared, and there are a lot of accidents happen. But this time in the Kumbh, this Komal and my friend Komal, she actually encouraged me to go on the bike, because I told her I don't want to go on bike, and she says, "Come on, let's do it." So we both hopped on the bike, and that day we went from one corner of the Kumbh to another. It was about 45 kilometers. And in that 45 kilometers, we still have to walk 18 kilometers. And remaining part of the kilometers, we have to take so many, we took 9 bikes that day. For a short while, we will go on the bike, then we change the bike, then we will walk, then we'll go on the bike. Sometimes we get the bike, sometimes we don't, so we continue to walk. Sometimes, and she was really, she was from Delhi, and she knew how to ask her bike. So she will, not only that, if somebody, and these people, I mean, you could hire them, but some of the people you could not hire them. She knew, she could tell. She says, these are the government people. She would stop them. She says, could you please give us the right? And then they say, well, we're not going that far. And she says, okay, give us the right as far as you go. Or sometimes they give us 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, and then they say, okay, now you are by your own. But that was a really challenging and very enjoyable. And then there are the bhandaras in the ashrams or in the different places. And then there are artis, there is a sangam, Ishnan, and then there you meet some of this is the Jagat Guru from Mysore. I met him there and I was so impressed. I didn't realize that, I didn't know about him, but it was really interesting to meet him. So the holy dip, this is where everybody is striving for. Because this is a symbol of self-purification, cleansingness, awakening. And not only self-awakening, but the physical dip to inner dip, how it takes you to inner dip. And it's hard to describe this one because it's self-purification, as I mentioned, after each dip, one feels, even I was talking to someone today, because I went for a walk and my neighbor, she just told me she just came back from Kumbh today. And she said, she was showing me her goosebumps. And she said, I felt like that when I took the dip, some weight was dropped from me and I felt so lighted. And I said, that's exactly I felt and many people feel. It's not that the things change in your life, issues will be there, but you feel like you are just witnessing those things. You are not a part of it. You are just performing and you become an actor of that play rather than getting emotionally attached. So it takes you to different level. And there are many, many different experiences over there, with each one, you feel like all of a sudden you kind of get to the next awakening state, which is over a period of time. And I hope it continues. And that's where I put it here, that how we should practice it. External dip to inner dip. That should be the goal. That the dip, what we experience with that dip, it must continue. And how we can live in that conscious level. So the impact, we continue to carry that impact. And again, I wanted to re-emphasize on this one. After listening to so many talks, kathas, so many things, it comes that in summary, ultimately the practice, how to live that life every moment, every day, and continue your spiritual journey. The same, start your day with your regular practices, whatever resonates with you. Take care of your body, your pranic energy by energizing your pranas and meditation. And then during the day, whatever you need to work on, whether it's your fear, whether it's your faith, some practices, continue one at a time and evaluate. This is so important to evaluate ourselves. And then do our best and continue to encourage ourselves. Do not get discouraged, even though sometimes we might feel that we are going backward, but that's okay. Continue to practice. Do your best. And always remember, Sarv Dharman Paritajya Mamekam Sharanam Praj. Aham Tvam Sarv Papebhyo Moksha Shyami Machuti. Bhagwan Ji is always with us. And this particular thing, I had so many experiences over there. Every day I was flooded with these experiences that how God is holding. us. So our sankalpa. Again, once we take the sankalpa for our self-improvement, not being slave with our indriyas, our mind, senses, but focus on our goal, on our sankalpa. Then little by little, we will reach to our destination as our sankalpa today is, I dive within. And by practicing diving within, I will continue to have the same aura of feeling the Anandam, inner happiness, peace, and experiencing Satchit Anand. So, I would say experience Kumbh Mela once in a lifetime. Really experience spiritual growth. As I said, it's like a jump start. You just like, when we are in the class, sometimes we go from one grade to another grade to another grade, and sometimes we see some of the very smart students, they jump 2 classes together. I felt like here, going there, I felt like I jumped from 5 classes over there. So spiritual growth, reflections, awakening, and continue to dive within. So we should continue to practice. Now, the question comes, if I did not get a chance, because many of the friends do ask me this question, and some of them, you might be thinking the same thing. I did not get a chance to go there. You mean I would not get the moksha? Or I would not get the jump start? And that's not true. Once you live in that conscious level, diving in, going to Sangam, of course, your focus over there, you are away from the rest of the world, so you have time to concentrate on it. However, diving within is equal to taking the Shai Snan in Sangam. So we should continue to dive within, whether we get that connection, whether we do through Seva, through Karma Yoga, through Bhakti Yoga, or through Bhagavad Gita, or through Kirtan, Bhajan, whatever resonates with us, doesn't matter. But we should continue to practice. So thank you very much for attending and having a patience with the technology today. But I really appreciate it. So thank you very much for joining.